Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Sagittarius. If Sagittarius is your solar, lunar, ascendant/rising sign, this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. To get it around to me. There we go. 1, 2, 3. All right. Trying to get through this without coughing too much. I was fine until this evening, and then it just kind of snuck up right on me. Okay, let's see what we have here. I just stuck my finger in there a little bit. Oh, it's just one of those nights. It's almost the full moon and I can feel it. Can definitely feel it. Ooh, look at this cute little, we have this cute little person right here. That really sticks out to me. Let's see if we can get this right in the light. There we go. Right there. We'll have to see what they're doing. Looks like we have a lot of jumping fish. I see quite a bit of kind of sea related stuff. I think that this is going to be very like water element oriented. Okay. We must have, looks like both forms of the siren represented in the mermaid and the bird, which is interesting because it's right next to a boat. Okay, so I want to start with this. Start looking at this whole thing here. We have a very kind of water element, emotional. I think the waters might be a little bit choppy, a little bit dangerous. I don't think things have been super easy for you. I know that the last couple readings have been difficult for Sagittarius. A lot of energy of people just not really giving you the respect that you deserve, kind of, you know, your hard work going unnoticed, really just not being taken care of by others when you have taken care of those around you, those that you love and care about for probably many years. So I think that this, in some ways, is going to be a continuation of this kind of theme on some level, okay? And I just want to get this out of the way before we even start with anything else. We have the card that I pulled to kind of set the tone of the reading. Sometimes it fits, sometimes I kind of don't exactly see exactly where it fits, but in this case, we have the Seven of Swords, which in the Thoth deck is related to futility. So, futility, if you don't know what that means, it means basically, you know, failing at something that you're trying to do. Failing to force things to work. Okay, it's just kind of a fool's errand, something that is going to, you know, take up your energy, your time, and it's really just going to fall short of whatever goal or intention that you have, okay? Now, I'm of the mind that, of course, all things that we do are learning experiences. I think that it's important for us to fail. And there's that famous quote about like fail often, fail better. each time, right? So, you know, our failures often are more important than when we achieve something. And that might sound counterintuitive, but it is very much about refining our processes. We discover a lot as we kind of toil through life and the ordeals of life. And, you know, we are growing when things are uncomfortable. Okay. That being said, it's not, you know, at some point we have to figure out, like, when is enough, right? Okay, so I guess let's look at this. Let's look at the sirens first, okay? So the sirens, I like to call them sirens, but we have in mythology it's originally a woman who is a bird, half woman, half bird. She sings a song. The sailors on their boats out in the ocean hear her song, or hear her voice, hear her music, hear her song, and they're enchanted. They must find her, right? And so they set sail towards this beautiful voice, and are almost always met with their ultimate demise because they hit the cliffs, or, you know, get stuck on the sandbar or whatever. The boat can't move, or the boat sinks, or something like this. The other version is same story, but we have a mermaid, right? So half fish, half woman. And in this case, it looks like she has some kind of sword, right? So I feel like in the context of the story that we're kind of starting to see emerge in these last readings and in this reading, I really believe that this kind of siren is not necessarily a person or, you know, the manifestation of a person or a group of people, but I think it really what it is your kind of, it's just a real deep desire to find some kind of acceptance in other people, a belonging. I think that for whatever reason, and, you know, let me just say this is a normal instinct. We are social beings. We are, you know, tribal beings. And we seek acceptance and validation, and even just guidance through how people treat us, right? So I just want to say that it's normal for you to feel this way, but I think that it is often such a driving force for you that you sometimes, I think, make decisions that are not in your best interest. You stay maybe in situations longer than you maybe would otherwise if you weren't really seeking this kind of closeness and acceptance and, you know, just kind of the feeling of being needed or wanted or heard, kind of brought into the fold, you know, these kinds of things. And it can be very painful and very destructive when you try and you're not met with the energy that you really desire, okay? Now, I think that, excuse me, I think partially, and I'm looking at this and I want to get this one kind of done with because it's staring at me and I'm staring at it. And let me look at it this way. Just maybe it's something else. No, not really. Well, maybe. Excuse me. Now, on this side, it kind of looks like a flying bird, which I do like better. But on this side, it's a very phallic. It's a very phallic symbol. And as you can see, it is kind of very fertile. I think that I think that this is really, to me, it really, really underlines the kind of a desire, not necessarily to meet a person to, you know, copulate with or couple with, but I think a desire to just go through the process of creating, go through the process of, well, some kind of courtship. It doesn't, again, it doesn't have to be courting a person. This could be courting yourself. It could be courting the divine for some kind of, divine inspiration, right? And the reason I'm looking at this and thinking that this is not necessarily like you're trying to find somebody to have a relationship, or you've really been trying to make your relationship work. I kind of feel like this is, and this is because I'm influenced by these older readings. I feel that you have really turned to like an inward process, and I feel like you've really been seeking a kind of spiritual guidance, a kind of something that is like laying out self-development. Maybe it's like self-help, a self-empowerment type of system, or you know, a book, a guru, something like this, okay? I think that it's probably it's probably fairly masculine, okay? As a lot of these kinds of groups are. And I think that, you know, you really, really came into the situation thinking, okay, this is, you know, I'm done trying to get these other people to care about me and to show me the gratitude and love and respect that I deserve. So I'm going to find a way to work on myself. And, you know, in that journey, I feel that you have found maybe a few different kinds of systems, philosophies, you know, some kind of motivational, like I said, self-help, self-empowerment, something like this. Okay. And I feel like it's causing a certain amount of pain, because it's just really doesn't seem to feel like it's fitting. You're not fitting into the practices. Maybe you're not having the revelations that you thought you would have. It just isn't really making sense. And I really feel like this sense of kind of feeling a little bit more empty. There's some kind of disenchantment. Almost like some of the concepts and words, the phrasing, the jargon that's particular to the system is almost kind of like, I think I get in my brain, in my visualization, and I'm thinking of this as well. It's almost like being stabbed with like a poisonous sword, right? And it's slowly infecting you, because it's like I'm coming to this open, vulnerable, you know, wounded already by things that have happened previously. But I have good intentions. I have an open heart. I'm very willing to do the work. Why is this not working for me? I'm applying myself. I'm doing all the things that I'm supposed to be doing, but I'm still not feeling it. Still not understanding. Maybe you look around at maybe other people who are writing testimonials, who are posting about it. Maybe you've gone to some of their events or whatever. And some of these other people, they seem like it just clicks for them. They're just doing so well. They're cruising through it. And you can't understand, why is that not working for you? Why? Maybe there's something wrong with you. Okay. I think that this is, excuse me, not an uncommon occurrence in religion, in spirituality, in all of the variety of self-help, self-development kinds of things, new age things, whatever it is, okay? If these things were easy and if they applied to everybody who tried them, then there wouldn't be so many. You would just find the, you know, one of the main things, join it, and you would be fixed, right? But I don't think it, you know, I don't think it works that way. I think that so much of this is about finding what speaks to you. You have to kind of cast your net widely, right? I'm looking at these little dolphins, and I see them kind of just jumping up. There's two of them here. I see the birds. I get this feeling of of being at the ocean. I'm looking at this one, which looks like a sea, and I think that there's definitely going to be a sea person coming up, right? The letter C, not the ocean sea. But I look at this and I see this cave. I think of a cave next to the ocean. This person on a journey, walking the beaches. I just have this whole immersive kind of feeling. Here, though, I see, if you can follow me with your imagination, it looks like a little alligator or a crocodile. It's partially hidden, right? I also see this, it looks like an owl, right? And it's kind of watching. So I feel that, and these are both very predatory, although the owl wise, right? The alligator, strong, beautiful, fast, has, you know, the armor, just a real warrior of an animal. We have these dolphins. They're also predators, if you'd believe that or not. They eat a lot of fish. So if you're a fish, you're in trouble. But very intelligent, okay? And of course, birds are just, you know, a beautiful sign of the spirit, of high intelligence, of dreams and visions, and these kinds of things. So I feel like you're just very blessed in so many, in such a variety of sectors in your own being, in your own mind, body, soul. But I also think that you have to be, you know, very mindful and careful about where you are applying your time and efforts. I also believe that you are loyal to a fault, to some, you know, in some situations. I think that you sometimes align yourself with people who don't treat you well, to maybe organizations that, you know, they might not, it's not that they're not treating you well, but it's just not for you, okay? Sometimes things just don't vibe with us. The frequency's off, the language is off, and you might think it's silly, but language is so important. If you go into a system, and I'll give you an example here. Some of the yogas, right? Different strands of yoga, the different schools of yoga, very interested in. I've always been super interested, but because some of the way even when it has been translated to English, right? Some of the way that the language of these teachings is put forth, it doesn't make sense to me. Some of the jargon does not make sense to me. It does not affect me in a way that makes sense, right? And so I have a problem. I have a problem focusing on what is the core message here, right? There's so many things for me to learn just so I can get to the concepts. And even when it is explained through a guru or through a teacher, a practitioner, it's still difficult for me because I don't have the bond to the language. And the language really does invoke feeling in us. Language, actual utterances, the way that things are pronounced, the frequencies, the pitch, the tone, all these things are magical, they're sacred, and they're very important to finding what really speaks to you, when you feel at home, when you find a system or systems or a teacher or a holy person, whatever it is, somebody who speaks your language. And I don't mean, they speak on your level. They speak to you in a way that feels familiar, right? They're still helping you learn. They're still, helping you birth ideas and get to know things that you maybe had never considered, but it's in such a way that moves you. It's moving. It opens something up inside of you. It helps you to navigate yourself, right? So, I think that whatever this is that you have found recently, and I think it's been disheartening. I really feel this deep disheartening feeling. I even see this little face here. It looks kind of just like a stone face. I just want you to know that it's okay to put it on the shelf and move on to the next thing. And I was talking about this little cave here. I think that maybe, it would be a good time for you to focus on some solitary work, but also relying on your intuition. And that's the biggest thing. It doesn't necessarily have to be, solitary in the sense that, you're going to go live on a mountaintop like a monk, but I think it's important for you to stop waiting for the cues of others, stop waiting for the leading of others, stop, looking for verification through other people that you know what you're doing or what you should be doing at all, right? It's fine to take the information that we get from outside sources. We have to, of course, right? But that's how we experience the world, is through all of this kind of data and abstract and things that we interact with, and then we take it and we process it through our brains and systems and whatever, and then we figure things out, right? I just think that it's important for you, because I know that you're such a smart and capable person. It makes sense to me that you would be able to really work on trusting yourself, trusting that you know what to do for yourself. You've taken care of other people for a long time. You have spent a lot of your vitality on constructing safe spaces for other people, maybe running households, you know, being an important part of things, working in your work environment, managing things, you know, just really a lot of stuff falls on your shoulders. So I do know that you have the ability to perceive, you have the ability to anticipate, you have that intuition, you're very adaptable. And so while I think it is a worthy endeavor for you to be looking into, you know, different kinds of coping and different modalities and techniques and, you know, what have you, I think that you should not force yourself to practice something that makes you feel worse. And that's really what it comes down to. So I think it's a good time for you to really kind of, you know, maybe read widely, maybe experience widely. Go check out a bunch of different things instead of focusing on one. Listen to how you feel. You know, it's like if you go to like church services, right? Sometimes you just know like, okay, this is cool and these people are wonderful and, you know, this seems like a nice place, but it's just, there's not that connection there. And then you go to another kind of service, and you feel in the, you know, in the grace of God, you're seeing and experiencing. It's very, what's the word? It's potent, but it's just kind of pulsing through the air, right? And that doesn't mean the other place is not a holy place. They're not doing things correctly. It just means that that wasn't in your alignment at that moment. And so it's okay to check out a lot of different things. And I think really that is going to be so important for you. And I think that's part of what this owl is about, right? And this is starting to get dry, so we're losing parts of our creatures. But the owl, the wise owl, the watcher, okay? I feel like definitely go and look for different things. I think with these dolphins as well, I think, to me anyways, it's all about having some fun as well. Making sure that not everything is so solemn and, you know, it doesn't have to be like this painful march all the time, trying to march towards some kind of healing or understanding or, yes, I do talk about suffering a lot and the value of suffering in different ways. But you don't have to make your whole life about suffering. I don't know. For me, I don't know what would there be to live for, right? There have to be like moments of content, of ease, of glory and awe and, you know, different kinds of love and these kinds of things. So I think that's important. It's important to remember that. You don't have to just suffer all the time. And then the boat, I want to talk about the boat. To me, that it's just so much about a journey. You're on a journey. You're sailing. Stay away from those sirens. And really, this is my favorite formation in here because it connects with this reading, but it connects with actually my day a little bit. And this one, if you can see it, let's see if we can get it right there. We have this kind of blob and it has this thing kind of curled in the front. It looks like an anglerfish to me. If you know what that is, it's or don't know what that is, it's a fish that lives in the deep sea where there is no light. And it's kind of this like so grotesque with the big teeth. It's just like kind of hideous. It's like so ugly. It's almost really cute, right? And it has this kind of antenna. It looks like a fishing pole, and it kind of pulses with light, and it attracts other creatures, other fish and squid and things to it, so it can eat, basically. So for me, in this reading, what this is, again, just like the siren, just like anything, I think that it's just, I feel that you have to really, really temper your desire to like find the thing that's gonna fit. I think that you found some self-confidence, which is great, and I think that you have kind of changed your circumstances with the environment that you were in before, with the person you were taking care of, or the people that were surrounding the situation that weren't treating you well. Okay, so you really have done a lot of work. So I think it's just, you have to really be careful while you have this kind of opening in yourself where you are healing, where you are kind of finding your way, to try to let things flow. Don't try to force things. Really trust yourself. Be careful of those who have all the answers. Be careful of those who say they're going to help fix you. Be careful of those, you know, that obviously they're asking for money for any kind of anything, really. You just, you know, there needs to be like a level of discernment going on. And we all go through these periods, of course, of doing soul searching, doing self-work, but you're like, you need the assistance of others who have been through these things, who have written about these things. We all do that. We all need those things. I mean, you go to a bookstore and look at how many self-help books there are. Look at how many spirituality books there are. Look at how many religious texts there are. We all need these things, okay? But we have to just be careful about what we're consuming, where we're really lending our hearts and souls and our minds and all of this, okay? And so that's really my message for you. I don't think anything is really wrong, necessarily. I think it's just about going slow, right? What's that movie called with Bill Murray? You have to do the baby steps, okay? Go slow. Little step-by-steps. And let's look at this. We see a 6. And then I kind of see like a heart. Or it almost looks like on this side, E, D, G. P, maybe 6P0. I don't know, one of these things, maybe. So I think that, you know, my goodness. As I'm looking at this, and if you're watching this at the end, a lot of people don't make it this long. You know, this almost looks like it's kind of interesting. We have this, the cave, the sea, right? It looks like such a wrestling match here. it looks like kind of being entangled. We have a being here and a being here, and then you flip it, and then this one's on top. It almost looks like it has like a fish head or something. It's on top here. But then I'm looking at it, and there's this big heart. Then we have this heart here. This little creature kind of taking or giving to the heart. I feel that there's just, and I'm looking at the saucer as well. I'm seeing these hearts. I'm seeing a 6 or a 9. So I think that there's almost this kind of cycle of going back to somebody who, I feel like there's a constant going back and forth with somebody. It's somebody that you feel like, you know, there's almost a codependency level when you get together. But I feel like they really just are not your person. I feel like they kind of are there for a little while. You get along, everything's like real, you know, serious. You're planning for the future. And then the littlest inconvenience for them, and they just kind of disappear. And so I feel like this is maybe where you're headed in this next little while. So just really, I want you to be careful of that, because I feel that with you feeling a little bit disheartened about this self-development work that you're doing, I feel like you're going to be like calling this person up or texting them or whatever. And, you know, I'm not going to tell you what to do about that, but just, you know, mind yourself, be careful. You know, I don't know. I always kind of advocate for people having some time to themselves, especially because you've had a kind of big change of heart and kind of alignment of your life. And so I think it's good to kind of have some time to reflect on that, get your new, you know, get your bearings, kind of have your new routines or whatever's going on, kind of just getting all that stuff together, okay, instead of kind of falling into old cycles. So I don't know, it is what it is right now. I can't really say what to do, but I am looking forward to next week's. I want to see what happens. I want to see if I want to see what you're planning on doing. And you can always tell me in the comments. So, yeah, Sagittarius, I thank you. It seems like you're really working hard at this, and that's really the ultimate, theme of the story that's going on, in my opinion, is that, you know, whatever this futility, like, who cares about that? You know what I mean? Like, we all have our little setbacks, okay? So you are making progress, and you are, you know, trying hard, and that's what's important. So I just want to thank you. And, you know, if you would be so kind as to like the video, that would really be so awesome. It helps me get into the algorithm and get to more people. If you have not subscribed, please think about doing so. If you hit the little bell, it'll let you know when the videos come out. I'm on a new schedule. I'm doing 2 videos a day. So, 2 readings a day. So each sign is now getting read once a week. And so your next video will be out in 1 week from now. So hopefully let's see, what is today? So it should be coming out next Tuesday. And other than that, yeah, just let me know how you're doing. I always love hearing from each and every one of you. You know, it just there's so many interesting people that come on these on our channels, and I don't know. I just really appreciate the input. I appreciate the energy, and I love hearing about all of you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope you have a wonderful night, and we will talk again next week.